family. You know the vibes. Your hostess with the mostest, selected Selah Shalom on the 1 and 2. You know how we do. It's a blood clot vibes.
Bittersweet Herbals, where the taste is bitter, but the results are sweet. Bittersweetherbals.com.
Run the rhythm.
Bittersweet Herbals, where the taste is bitter, but the results are sweet. Bittersweetherbals.com.
Yes, family, make sure to get your bitters. You know how we do. It's the hostess with the mostest, select the Selah Shalom. Select the Selah Shaloms. Peace, love, and light, family. Wagwan. It's a blood clot vibes. I ain't got no particular topic. I just wanted to hop on and chop it on. If anybody want to jump in the chat, I'm going to drop the link in the chat. Anybody want to come in and talk their piece? You know what I mean? Open discussion. I got to work on some presentations, you know what I mean? Everything been quiet on the set. So I've been chilling. You know what I'm saying? So somebody stick their neck out the window, trying to come at the gang. We'll be ready. Anybody want to hop on? Anybody want to chop it up? Anybody want to build? Anybody want to debate? Anybody want to challenge? If anybody just want to say peace to the righteous God. What'd you say, Matthew? Said JJ said what? JJ7 called out the House of Consciousness on your behalf. I think I seen that. Matter of fact, he was on Mally I think that was yesterday. We all hopped on there. You know what I mean? Yeah, the nigga JJ, he'll fake this in deep inside. You know what I mean? He one of us. Yeah. What's the topic? What we talking about? What we talking about, family? What's the vibes? Talk to me. Bronze Yogi, I see you. What's good, King? James, I see you. Bishop D, I see you. Lawrence, Bazella, where's that? Astro, where's that? Big up yourself, yeah? We just vibe and let the music run while we are vibe. Whatever's on your mind, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Snoop, well, it's a vibe. You done no king. Let's talk about it. What's on your mind? What's on your mind? What y'all want me to speak on? Got a lot going on. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody stepped up to debate the game yet. We waiting. We patiently waiting. I always look forward to the lessons, King. No doubt. You know what I mean? We just freestyling today. No particular topic. It's a vibes. You know what I mean? Lawrence, where's it? Looks like they try to talk in them. They try to take that beating. They don't want to talk about their God no more. They try to take this beating from the Owaspe. They don't want this work, yo. In no form or fashion, they don't want this work. We still waiting on that debate. Comedic science versus Owaspe science. Where they at? Where you at, son? We ready. We waiting. Doing some of this Owaspe science. You dig? Going some of this Owaspe science. You know what I mean? Just me, where's the big button? Big up yourself, large up yourself, yeah? Tell the gang we on. Yo, bro, tell the gang we on. My damn phone went dead, Joe. The iMan phone charge up right now, you know. We calling these niggas out with the science. What's up? What's up, son? What's up? The ingredients to creation. What's up, son? I was just listening, you know, I just hopped on YouTube and I seen Tazariak got his podcast going, and he's supposed to be debating Tony Marvin. That's the guy who be putting up Geno Jennings videos. And I just heard this Negro say that the light in the beginning, this is what Tazariak said. He said the light in the beginning is the earth's core. Hold up, man. The nigga said the light in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Let there be light. He said that light is the earth's core. You see the things people make up? Yeah, you couldn't debate me, bro. Ain't no way in hell you're going to say that and think you're going to get away with a statement like that. No way. This is what he said. Was in the beginning, this is what Tazariak said. You can hear him on his live. Let me share my screen. When he said in the beginning, let there create light, when God said let there be light, he said that was the core of the earth. That was the earth's core. Nowhere in the goddamn scriptures does that say that's the earth core. Let's go to Genesis 1:1. I like to, right? When it say God said let there be light, this Negro said that's the earth's crust, core. Right here, Genesis chapter 3:1. God said, let there be light, and there was light. Tazariak said that light is the earth's core, the sun of the earth, the light of the earth, the core of the earth. Yo, I don't know where they be getting these things from. And God saw that the earth crust light was good. And he divided the earth crust light from dark. See, that don't even make sense. How y'all niggas let this nigga slide with this, man? He having a debate right now on this channel, and I overheard him say that. If y'all watch him and heard him say that, man, come on, man. Ain't no way in hell you gonna say some shit like that with me in a debate talking about that the light in the beginning is the earth's crust. Nah. See, niggas pick and choose their battles. You know what I'm saying? No, you can't come in the ring talking that shit. Even Socknetta not gonna allow that shit to pass. How you gonna say that's the earth core and you can't prove that that's the earth's core? You know what I mean? Y'all gotta watch these Israelites. Y'all gotta watch some of these cats. They philosophize more than they go into the scripture and prove their point. A lot of times they speak stuff that's not even scripture based. Where does it say that the earth sun, the sun of the earth, the sun is the core of the earth, or the light in the beginning is the core of the earth? Niggas be making up shit. You laugh indeed. That shit funny as hell, yo. These niggas be making up shit. I could present that. Would you do a lesson on the ships and goddesses? Yeah, I could do one on that. Yep. You know what I mean? One thing we created, gang, females run shit over here. In the Bible, the female is to be silent. In the Bible, the curse of Eve got the woman cursed. You know what I mean? That's why they easily, like, if you look at the Hebrew Israelites, they talk down on the woman. Women talk back. They got there. I see niggas act overly aggressive towards the woman based off what the doctrines say. She's supposed to be silent. She brought about the curse. She the weaker link. All that is fuel for the man to suppress the woman. But in the Owaspy, ain't none of that going on. We ain't suppressing nothing. Yeah, we can do that, yo. Well, he said just me throwing scriptures out there. Yes, that's that book of Jehovah, first as vapor. That's right. That's right. Let's show it. Let's show that in real time what the God talking about. Just me. Right? First as vapor, it carries forth and it condenses its friction and engenders heat, and it is molten, becoming as a globe of fire in heaven. Thus take its place. See, we can prove that. See, we can say that. But see, we could say the earth was once a globe of fire because we got scripture and verses to prove that. See that? But in the Bible, when it says, let there be light, that's not even the earth. The earth is not even formed yet. Well, according to the biblical narrative, we don't know when the earth was formed because according to the biblical narrative, the earth was a formless void. It was already here. It was just formless. You know what I mean? Nor did it say anything about the earth having a sun or a light being a formless void. Ain't that something? See that? So even in the Owaspy, it showed you the growth of celestial bodies, starting as a vortex, from the vortex to a ball of fire, a globe of fire, like a sun. And then when Simu is rained on that globe of fire, it cools it down, creating the mineral kingdom. Then from the mineral kingdom, the vegetable kingdom, the animal kingdom, the time of inhabitation, the time of bearingness, the time of dissolution and rest. And then the process starts over again. See, we have a system here. So when we talk about creation, everything is put in place. We're not just speaking out the mouth, making up shit. Talking about the earth core, the sun, that the light in the beginning was the earth core light, whatever. I'm like, boy, this nigga be making up shit. How y'all niggas allow these cats to just be running around making up shit and not really check these niggas on it? Ain't no way in hell niggas getting a pass with me over there when it comes to creation. That's why I feel like they don't want to debate. Because the way I'm going to call that shit out and the way we're going to back it up with what we talking about, y'all going to be looking crazy. You're going to see who got the higher light on the block. And it's the Creator Gang. That's right, just me. That's right. So now, and the sad thing, while we moving forward and this Owaspy getting this knowledge, they going to be looking, they left behind. They don't even have a clue what's going on. They don't know about the arc cycles. They don't know none of that stuff. The 24,000-year processions. They don't even know the talent ranks of angels. Who is God, Lord, God, and Lord? That was the very first thing we brought out in our debate. Before we started accusing these niggas of being baby killers, the first accusation was prove the difference between God, Lord, God, and Lord. And nobody from the biblical camp, the Hebraic camp, the Muslim world, nobody could break down and differentiate God, Lord, God, and Lord as different titles on angels in the heavenly kingdom. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So now, before we can have creation, we have to have the elements for creation. We cannot create a sun without the particle elements first. We cannot create an earth without the elements, the minerals. We cannot create nothing in the physical world without the elements to make it. So these are the ingredients to creation. Without the ingredients, you can't make nothing. You can't make bread without flour and water. That's your ingredients to form and create. The periodic table of elements is the ingredients to creation. What is the sun made of? The sun is made up of helium, carbon. It's all on, everything on the planet is made up on this periodic table of elements. What is water? Oxygen, right? Oxygen is on here. Hydrogen is on here. Everything is on the periodic table of elements. So we're talking about creation. This is the fundamental foundation. It all starts here. And all this starts in a gaseous state. All minerals are expressed in a gas. Gas is ruach. Gas is air. Gas is spirit. Gas is electrical. It's alive. It's living. Without air, you would not exist. All things in creation are expressed in three forms: solid, liquid, and gas. I don't care what you look at in creation, it's going to fall under one of those three categories. The physical earth, solid, the water, liquid, the air, gas. You can't escape those three things in creation and in the spiritual world. So with that being said, out of the three, solid, liquid, and gas, which one comes first? That would be gas. That would be air. Air is space. Air occupies space. Air is the first cause of creation. Everything in creation starts with gas first, air. You can't have liquid without two air gases. And likewise, you can't have solids without the gases and the liquids to create it and the conditions. Jehovah said, 6:5, observe, O man, observe, Negro, as a farmer sows corn in one place, wheat in another, and flax yet another, everything in a separate place. So here, the Creator is saying, observe, my man. Like, look, the explanation of my creation is all around you through nature, but you haven't observed properly to know these things. You see it, but you don't know what you're looking at. So what does the verse say again? Observe, O man, as a farmer sows corn in one place and wheat in another and flax in another, everything in a separate place, arranged and orderly, right? Look what Jaja say next. Even so does the Creator store the ingredients of which worlds are made, everything in its place. See that? Jaja said everything in creation that is to create worlds are in its place. What did the verse just say up here? As an example, observe, as a farmer sows corn in one place, wheat in another place, and flax yet another, everything in a separate place. What did Jaja say? Even so does Jehovah store the ingredients of which worlds are made, everything in its place. Look what it states. The substance for iron in one place. See that? The substance of stones in another. And the substance of vegetable kingdom in another. And likewise, for the substance of animal kingdom and oils and sand, for he has places in the firmament of heaven for all of them. These that you saw are what? The Jaya, the Aja, and the what? Nebula. And in the middle of them, in places, there is Simu also. See that? So the Yawaspi is saying that in the abstract of creation, before things become concrete, in the abstract elements of creation, all the elements that are made up on the earth are in the cosmos, in a gaseous form. Iron is a solid rock, but it started in a gaseous form. Likewise with every single mineral, starting in a gaseous form. Here's an example of an abstract cosmic dust. These are the raw elements for creation. So if Jaja wanted to start creating with these elements you see here, these cosmic elements, these dust particles, if Jaja wanted to start creating, what is he going to do first? What is he going to, if Jehovah want to start creating using these dust particles, what is the first thing the Creator going to do? Tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat, what is the first thing the Creator is going to do once he take this cosmic dust? And if the Creator said, all right, I want to create a world, and he take this cosmic dust, what is the first thing the Creator is going to do? Give me the answer in the chat. Let me see the answer. Let me see the answer. If Jehovah took that cosmic dust I just showed you and wanted to start creating, what is the first thing the creator got to do? That's right, just me on it. What is the very first thing the creator has to do in order to take that cosmic dust to start forming celestial bodies? The answer, bam, y'all got it. The vortex. That's right. Just me, Deshaun. That's right. Whirlwind vortex here. You got it. That's the first cause of creation, the vortex. Right? That's right. I see the answers coming in now. The vortex. You're right. Y'all paying attention. So if Jehovah wanted to create a world, he'll take this dust particle, and that dust particle will turn into this. Let me pull up another. Where my one on creation at? It's going to turn into this. There you go. Boom. See that? See that? So this is the abstract elements of creation, the cosmic dust, the minerals in its raw form. And when Jehovah says, you know what? I'm going to create a world here. I'm going to create a galaxy. I'm going to create a solar system here. I'm going to create a planet here. What is the first thing creator going to do? He's going to create motion, and that motion is what? A vortex. So he's going to take this cosmic dust and form it into these right here. See that? From the raw, abstract, to the concrete. This is the concrete right here. This is the abstract. This is just raw element in its raw form. But when Jehovah said, it's time to create worlds, what does Jehovah do? Set on that vortex. He spins that. He takes that cosmic dust and starts spiraling it, spinning it, creating a vortex. And what happens is that this cosmic dust, as it begins to rotate, it draws the elements to the center. It draws the gaseous particles, the iron, the copper, the nickel, the carbon, the hydrogen, the helium. All that is drawn to the center in great density. And then that becomes a ball of fire. And then that becomes your first visible sight of the sun, of a planet. Regardless of what celestial body it is, it starts off as a ball of fire. See that? So now look what y'all say. Precept. Here is found iron, copper, granite, water, lead, clay, nitrogen, oxygen. These are the elements, right? And various other kinds of corporeal substance or elements, minerals, as known on Earth. And besides these, millions of things not known on Earth. And ETH holds them in solution. So ether is the binder. It's the binding force. Anything that holds something that's a magnetic. Magnetism holds things together. Ether works as a magnetizer. It binds things. Iron binds things. Iron is magnetic. Anything that is magnetic is iron core, it's iron based. So the mineral iron has a tendency to bind and to draw things to it. Dr. Sebi explains this when breaking down health. He says iron is a binder. It binds all other minerals to it. So ETH works as a binder. What does it say? ETH holds them in solution. Even in the same way that air holds the substance of clouds, which is water in solution. See that? Clouds are water in solution. And as some clouds are so rarefied as to be imperceptible, while others are opaque and even black, so are the comparative conditions of etheria. So what they're saying is that in the ether, you have regions that are just like this. Regions that are dark black, regions that are light, regions that are semi-light, opaque. See that? You have in the cosmos, in the endless cosmos, in the endless journey of this right here. In the endless journey of this, right? As we float through the cosmos right here, we're going to meet conditions such as this. We're going to go to areas that are condensed and thick, cloud, forest-like, like the Owaspy states. You have swamps and forests in the cosmos that the solar system travels through, meaning dense regions. So while we're traveling like this, we're going to encounter dense regions like this. And these are the regions called Aja, Jaya, Nebula. Just like this picture right here as we're traveling. It's no different than when you're taking a road trip out of town and you're traveling and you start off on a sunny day. But by the time you get to the next state, it's cloudy. Rain clouds start to form and then it starts to rain. You're met with conditions that you didn't start out with. You started out driving on a sunny day. Now it's raining. You're met with a different condition. Rain, to produce rain, the atmosphere has to be at a certain level of density. The clouds has to be at a level of density to let the waters fall, right? So as we're traveling, we're going to go through regions that are somewhat like rain-like. You got hail, you got snow. All these are different regions in the cosmos. On the earth plane, I should say. All these are regions on the atmospheric plane that are in semblance to that in the cosmic. Look what Judge say. Book of Cosmogony and Prophecy, chapter 2:1. There are two known things in the universe, ether and corpora, gas and solids. That's what compromises all things in creation. What is ether? For the substance of my etherian worlds, I created eth. The most rarefied out of eth I made them. And I made eth the subtile of all created things. And I gave it power and place, not only by itself, but also power to penetrate and exist within all things. So eth exists within all things, even within the corporeal worlds. And to eth I gave dominion over both atmosphere and corporal. So these are atmospheric conditions. Ether is above the atmosphere. The atmosphere belongs to a world. The earth has an atmosphere, and that atmosphere acts as an incubator, a womb. You know what I mean? We're trapped in an enclosed environment, an ecosystem. And outside of this ecosystem, it's a whole nother world out there, in the etheric world. It plays by rules that don't apply to us. Most niggas never even heard of they heard of the term ether, but they don't know nothing about this etherian worlds. They don't know nothing about the biblical. Those who read Bible know nothing about etherian worlds. Now look at the imprisonment of the God spell. Look at the imprisonment of the false god. For you, each false god never told their followers about Etheria. I don't care if it was the false god of India, the false god of China, the false god of Africa. None of them told them about Etheria. See that? In ancient Egypt, when you read the text, when you die, you're going to become one with Osiris. You're not going to Etheria. You're going to Egypt. All you Kemetic following niggas, when you die, your goddamn New Jerusalem is going to be in them pyramids. That's your New Jerusalem right there. That false god going to bring your ass right into Egypt. Got you worshiping at the feet. Not knowing that your duty is to graduate and go to Etheria. How does creation start? As we described, through motion. When the creator wants to create, motion, first, before the motion, the all spoke. Sound, like Cosmo Cal would tell you. Sound produce frequency and wave. Sound produce waves. The wave is motion. Sound produce frequency. Frequency is motion. Right? So when the Creator created sound, then motion. Motion was his speech. So frequency and waves is the speech of is the spoken language of the Creator. If you want to study the Creator, study frequencies and waves. When we speak, all languages are frequencies and waves. The very act of you speaking is expressed as waves. The electromagnetic spectrum is the vibrational frequency of all things in creation. And when you see it, waves. You see waves. How does motion flow? Vortices, see? We could teach this in a school right here. We could teach this in a school because this is practical science. Shout out to the prophet Brian. If I pronounced it right, Brian. He got the Owaspis in the school. He got the kids got them learning Owaspi. See that? Look at this. Book of Jehovah 3:4. By the power of rotation, swift driving at the periphery, I condense the atmospheric worlds that float in the firmament. And these become my corporeal world. See that? So again, you have sound, motion, which produces power. The power is determined based off the rotation. The greater the rotation, the stronger the power. The weaker the rotation, the weaker the power. So power is dictated based off of motion, rotation. See that? Because power is potential. It's lying dormant until it is expressed. So power essentially, power is based off the motion and rotation, and how fast or slow determines the power, the horsepower, right? So that's what I'm saying. We're dealing with practical knowledge. Shit that makes sense. Here's an example. Here's an example of the vortex. Book of Jehovah 1:4. Let's scoot in. Look at that. Look what that say. Book of Jehovah 1:1-4. The all spoken motion was. So when the all spoke, this is the starting point right here. This is the beginning of the vortex. This is when the Creator made the sound for motion to exist, and motion started spiraling. Again, the all spoken motion was. So this is where it started. Boom. So when the Creator started speaking, frequency and motion was produced, creating this wave. And you see the same example in the galaxy. You see the starting point right here. This is the motion right here. You see it coming out as a line and then going into a circle. A straight line always forms a circle, because everything is moving in an orbit, in a rotation, in a rotary. Here's an example of the Earth and its atmosphere. So you have the Earth in the center, and then you have the vortex surrounding the Earth, right? The proof that the Earth is in the center is based off the atmosphere. You have the troposphere, which surrounds the Earth. You have the stratosphere, which surrounds the Earth, which is above the troposphere. The mesosphere, the thermosphere, and the exosphere. All these surround the Earth, making the Earth in the center, right? What does it say right here in this verse? In the midst of the vortex, in the midst of the vortices, I made them, meaning the planets. And by the power of the vortices, I turned them on their axis and carried them in the orbits I allude to them. Wider, the Then to the moon of a planet, I have created the vortices, and they carry the moon also. So here you have that. In the center of the vortex is where the celestial body be, whether it be a sun, whether it be a moon, whether it be an earth. It doesn't matter what the celestial body is. The fact is that you have a vortex and a celestial body in the center. That's what we're dealing with. I heard somebody hop on BC in the building. What's good, King?
What's up, Selah? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Talk to me. Just going through these lessons. You know what I mean? What's good? Talk to me.
Hey, I got a bad connection. I'm out here walking my dog.
I hear you. Don't talk to me. What's good? I guess that connection pretty bad.
I can't even hear you. See, I'm
I hear you now.
I'm gonna jump off and then I'm gonna jump back on in a second.
All right, bet.
I can't hear nothing you saying, but I appreciate the lesson, man. You bringing out some heavy stuff, man. You know, it's really the basics of what we should understand about the energy. You know what I mean? I'm gonna jump back on in a
Facts. All right, we're gonna bring him back on in a minute. You know what I mean? So we're gonna move forward as we go forward. Shout out Daryl Cosby in the building. I see Malachi Maccabee. I see the gang chiming in now. Eric Hamilton, I see you. What you say, Mally? Comedic are easier to take down than the bruise. Salute. Yes, no doubt, King. Daryl Cosby in the building. What'd you say? Vortex is ether in motion. Y'all hear that? Vortex is ether in motion. Understand that? We got Omiya in the building. What's good, King? Yeah, so move forward. Let's move forward. So where we at with it? So we was talking about how the Earth is in the center of a vortex, right? And this ain't nothing new. So like, let's go to the vortex right here and show the same principle. See that? It's the same principle. Ain't nothing changed. This is a vortex. And not only this is a vortex, this is in fluid mechanics that describes the fluids, liquids, and gases. And this is described in physics, physical chemistry, and engineering. Fluid dynamics is a subdiscipline of fluid mechanics that describe the flow of fluids, liquids, and gases. See that? So as you see here, you see the vortex example, you see the helium cell, and then you see the solar system, all representing one universal system. And then coming back to the Earth, you see the same system, the Earth in the center with the atmosphere surrounding it. What you see here, same thing, same principle, one universal order. Book of Jehovah 3:2. Man looked upward in prayer, desiring to know the way of all created things, both on earth and in heaven. Now, the key thing here is it states all created things, both on earth and in heaven. So what is this telling you? That there must be some system in order that exists that operates in the physical and the spiritual that is one and the same. As above, so below as above. Right? What is one thing in creation that shares a semblance that you can see on the earth plane and on a heavenly cosmic plane? What did I just say? The whirlwind I made as a sign to men of the way of my created worlds. Here's an example of a whirlwind. That's a hurricane. We familiar with that. But what you wasn't familiar with is that this is the manner of how Creator creates his world through this same force and power. That's what you don't know. That's what Bible is not telling you. That's what Quran is not telling you. That's what the Kemetic science is not telling you. The Kemetic science can't tell you this. If I was to ask Jabari, explain vortexia, explain hurricane patterns, because this is a science. Nature is a science. Science means to study, to know. We want to know the function of nature. This is the function of nature. What does it say? Look at the pig. Look at the pig. What does it say? The whirlwind I made as a sign to man of the way of what? My created worlds. This is an example. This is no different than that galaxy that we was showing up here. This is no different than this. Right there. See the galaxies in the cosmos? See those spiraling galaxies? A whirlwind and a hurricane is no different. It's the same force and energy. The same thing you see in the cosmos here is the same thing you see coming across the Atlantic Ocean to destroy shit. The Creator said, I am the creator. I am the destroyer. I am the first. I am the last. Only the Creator could hold that. The Creator said, I am the destroyer. What does that mean? What does it mean? When this hurricane draws its energy on water, and by the time it hits landfall, what happens? Destruction. Anything in the way of that vortex is taking life. But who to blame? If your God sits on the throne, he is to blame. But the emotions of man will put the blame on God. Why did you do this, God? How can you take my baby from me with this hurricane? But what did the Creator say? I am the creator. I am the destroyer. I am the first. I am the last. Yes. This is where the Creator could be dreadful. When the Creator comes as the destroyer. Right? But in the same instance, the destroyer is a cleanser. When hurricanes come, it's cleansing at the same time. Let COVID be on the coastline when the hurricane comes. COVID about to get cleansed out. That shit about to get wiped out the atmosphere when that hurricane comes. So the destroyer is coming to destroy, to rebuild. I am the creator. After destruction comes creation. The earth was a formless void, destruction. Now the God is recreating that which was a formless void, creating. So from destroying to creation, from creation to destroying, that is the function of creation. Things are created and things are destroyed. See, people hear the word destroyed and get struck like, oh, word destroyed. It's a strong word. But it's a function that you have to understand. I am the creator. I am the destroyer. There's the destroyer right there. As you see the power of the whirlwind gathering up dust of the earth and driving it together. That's the power of the whirlwind. You get in the front of that whirlwind, your ass is dying. That shit is going to fling you like goddamn 2 miles away from there. You got to respect the power of the vortex. You got to clear the path of the vortex. Make way of the vortex. When the vortex come, you better get up out of there. Because here comes the destroyer. Huh? You want to, that's the opposition right there. They say to know the creator, you got to know the extreme good and the extreme evil. The extremes of it. This will be considered evil, right? The destroyer. We will consider the destroyer Satan, the devil. He's coming to take life. But guess what? It's the same force and power of creation. See that? That's when the religious belief kicks in. That's when your emotions kick in and you put a name and a title of certain things in nature. Right? So you have the destroyer, because when the hurricane comes through, it's coming to destroy, but at the same time, it's cleansing. See that? What did it say? Look, as you see the power of the whirlwind gathering up dust of the earth and driving it together. Know that likewise I bring together the Jaya, the Aja, and the nebula in the firmament, and by the power of the whirlwind, I created the sun, moon, and stars. See that? See that? I created. Now we're dealing with creation. So the same force and power that is destructive on the earth plane is the same force and power that creates on the celestial plane. By the power of the whirlwind, I create the corporeal suns, moons, and stars. By that same power, this is created. See that? The same power of destruction on the earth plane is the same power that is the creation of life. I am the creator, I am the destroyer. See that? See that? On the cosmic plane, he's the creator. On the earthly plane, he's the destroyer. Does any type of vortex come on this plane, it's coming to destroy. It's coming to cleanse. A hurricane coming over water to land, it's coming to cleanse. It's coming to destroy. A tornado, you better clear the path. It's coming to destroy. It's coming to cleanse. A cyclone, same force and power. But on the earth plane, it's destructive. Here's an example of the solar system. Here's an example of a galaxy showing you the same universal principle. Now they go to Earth right there. They want you to believe that the Earth, you know what I mean? The sun is local to the Earth. Now you can believe that. You can believe whatever you want when it comes to the flat Earth. But I'm showing you one universal order, that even the sun has to be in the center of the vortex. Because this sun that's in the center of the vortex is the same sun that's in the center of a galaxy. And if you notice, the spiral around the galaxy is the same spiral around the sun, which the planets are subjected to. The only thing missing in this picture is that each planet has a circle around it. Just like this sun got the circle, each planet got a circle around it. Circles within circles. Wheels within wheels. Does that sound familiar? I commanded man to name the whirlwind and the Etherian firmament, and he named them according to their shape, calling them vortices and walks. And walk. Mm-hmm. See that? One universal order. See all these galaxies with the sun in the center? See our sun in the center? It's a vortex surrounded by the planets. One universal system. What did Jaja say? Remember the question I asked y'all earlier? For each and every corporeal world, I created a vortex first. So anytime we talk about creation, and the question is raised, what is the first thing created in creation? Let's ask some Hebrews that. Let's ask the Kemetic niggas that. And tell them to answer you based off the literature, based off Bible, based off Quran, based off of Waspi. What did Jaja say? Book of Jehovah, Book of the Creator, chapter 3, verse 6. For each and every corporeal world, I created a vortex first. And by its rotation, which determines its power, and from the place of the firmament where it travels, I cause the vortex to conceive the corporeal worlds. Anything dealing with conceiving is feminine. Conception is an act of femininity. So, like I've been telling you, the creation is a womb. This is the real matrix, family. When they talk about the matrix being the womb, it's the vortex. See that? What's the old girl who wrote the Matrix and Terminator? What's her name again? Sophia Stewart. She need the Owaspi. This is what she missing. She wrote all that based off Bible. Now just imagine if she had the Owaspi and understood what the Matrix is. Because the Matrix ain't nothing but the vortex. The vortex is a womb. And in the center of womb comes life. And that life is right here. The sun. The sun. The sun is the solar energy. That's what governs our lives on earth. The sun. The sun is the head nigga in charge. If it wasn't, it's the sun that allows vegetation to grow. It's the sun that do that. Without vegetation, we starve to death. We go extinct. If vegetation goes out, we go extinct. What we gonna eat? Our life is determined on vegetation and water. But in this instance, we're talking about vegetation. Because the sun is the solar energy for vegetation to grow. So the sun is what is conceived in the center of the vortex. The earth is what is conceived in the center of the vortex. And all the earth, the sun, all that goes under one consecutive order. The sun is just a ball of fire. It has the potential to become a planet. It's just in its first phase. The first phase is what? The vortex, and then at the center of the vortex, a ball of fire. The earth started off the same way. All celestial bodies, sun, moon, stars, started off as a ball of fire in the center of a vortex. What does it say? I caused the vortex to conceive the corporeal worlds. So we're dealing with feminine energy. Y'all always talking about, we're not talking about no deity over here. We're talking about the creator. Look at this is creator right here in real time. What you're looking at is the matrix. This is the matrix. This is what Sophia Stewart don't know. The vortex is the matrix, is the womb. And in the center of the womb comes what? Life is birth, is conceived. Light is conceived in the center of darkness in the womb. See that? Come on, yo. See that? The unseen becoming seen. Book of Jehovah 4:2-6, verse 2. The clouds in the air I bring into view suddenly. By different currents of wind, I make the unseen visible and tangible to man's senses. You see how the creator in this book is using nature to describe his ways? See that? He said, by different currents of wind, I make the unseen visible. Different currents of wind. Currents of wind determines if you will be able to see something as far as the clouds. Are the clouds visible or invisible? In the same way, I cause the Etherian currents to bring forth Jaya, Aja, and Nebula prior to making corporeal worlds. Atmospheric densities. That abstract picture I showed you earlier. Things that men see, I create with the beginning and end, but the unseen, I made of endless duration. The vortex. The Great Serpent equal the solar system. See, I'm just going you over our cosmology, over our science, cosmogony. You see what I'm saying? Really, we beat niggas on this alone. Bible can't match up to this. Quran can't match up to this. Gab laying on his back as the earth can't match up to this. Nu bent over like a goat, like a cow can't match up to this. What comedic science can match up to this? Look what Jaja say. Book of Cosmogony and Prophecy 133. The Earth's vortex. See that? A lot of niggas don't even know the Earth got a vortex around it. Although the proof is in the atmospheric layers, the Earth's vortex is a subvortex existed within the sun's vortex. That's what that picture is right here. Look what it says. See, the only thing missing out these pictures is that each one of these planets got a vortex around it, a circle. So each one of these planets should have a circle around it. The same way you see the circle around the sun, It's supposed to be another circle around these celestial bodies. So it says the Earth's vortex is a subvortex that existed within the sun's vortex. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and so on are corporeal worlds. And each and all of them are within vortices. See that? So it's letting you know that Mercury has a vortex around all the planets has a vortex. That's what it's saying right here. It says Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. And then it states, each and all of them are within vortices. Within, meaning they're in the center of a vortex. When you look at the moon is in the center of a vortex. You can't see the vortex. It's invisible. It's invisible to the naked eye. You can't see the vortex. All you see is that which the vortex conceives. Anything that is conceived is visible. It's tangible. It's seen. But that which produced, which is seen and tangible, is unseen. That which is holding the physical sun, moon, and stars intact is the vortex. Something you never hear these niggas talk about. Reggie, he don't talk about no vortex. None of these cats who still deal with Kemet talk about, once we start showing and going proving on this vortex, you're going to start hearing them speak more about it. The same way you start to hear them speak more about Creator. Look what it states. Each and all of them are within vortices. Being sub-vortices. Also, the combination of all these sub-vortices within and including the sun's vortex is known by the name Great Serpent or Solar Felix, for which reason the sun's vortex was called the Master. See that? The Great Serpent in your Bible, who you think is a living, breathing reptile, running around, speaking in the air of Eve, according to the Owaspy, is the solar system. This is a cosmological science. These false gods has reduced the cosmological science of the Great Spirit into a walking lizard into the Garden of Eden. And for years, you know, as I know, studying the Bible, the thought of that walking serpent was real to you at one point. Because you could come up with any excuse about what it say about the serpent. Let's go to Genesis chapter 3 to talk about the serpent. We know that the Great Serpent now is talking about the solar system. But when does the serpent come up in the Bible? What did that say? The serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. So now you went from understanding the Great Serpent as the solar system, based off the sun being the head and the planets being the body, representing a serpent, symbolically speaking, to reducing it to Genesis to a serpent walking on its belly talking to a woman. And look what it says. And the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, look, he said, the serpent is a male, and he's speaking to the woman. Let's click serpent. What does serpent say? Nahash. But look, what is it? It's a snake. Serpent. Fleeing serpent. Mythological. Serpent. Right? Look what it states. A snake. So you have a snake, because that's what it say in the Strong's Concordance. You have a snake talking to a woman. So now, what would you rather believe? A talking snake talking to a woman, talking to Eve, or having the understanding that the Great Serpent or Solar Felix is the sun and its planets? What is that verse in Revelation that talk about the Great Serpent? what's the verse of Revelation that talk about the great serpent? No, they don't talk about it said the great dragon. Yeah. Revelation 12. Yeah, man. Talk about the great dragon. They say dragon. What dragon? Dracon? What does it say? A dragon. A great serpent. A name for Satan. What does it say? Look, a fabulous kind of serpent. Oh, man. Where's the reference to this being a man? Hold on. Look what it says. Oh, look. It got Homer Iliads. Oh, we got some Homer going on here. Well, like I say, like the gang said, if you study in Greek, you had to study Homer. So we have Homer influence in Revelation dealing with the dragon, a great serpent, a fabulous animal, so as early as Homer Iliad 2, 308f. From it, after Genesis 3:1ff is derived the figurative description of the devil in Revelations. Look at that. Nigga, this shit come out of Homer's Iliad. That's interesting. Hold up, Homer's Iliad 308. You go to 308. Boom. See. They got it. I don't see 308 though. Well, look, they got it from the Homer's Iliads. Hold on. Iliads 2, 308F. Yeah, 2, 308. Damn, they ain't got it. Oh, look. See that? Look at that. There we go. Look at this. This is Homer's Iliad. We're going to start from 305. Now, this is before Revelations. And we round about a spring where offerings to the immortals upon the holy altars. He catacombs that bring fulfillment beneath a fair plain tree from whence flow the bright water. Then appeared a great portent, a serpent, blood red, and the black terrible, whom the Olympian himself had sent forth to the light. So here you see that they reference the Iliads in reference to the serpent. And it's interesting because a lot of this stuff in the New Testament, a lot of it is Greek literature. And that'll be strongly influenced by Homer. And here we see it. Homer's influence in Revelation. Says a great dragon, a great serpent, a fabulous animal, so as early as Homer, Iliads 2, 308, etc. From it after Genesis 3:1, now their serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord had made, is derived the figurative description of the devil in Revelations. Yeah, my nigga. So we got some of the Iliad influence up in there. You know what I mean? Look what it say. Then the serpent devoured them as they twittered piteously. Piteously. It talks about then the serpent devouring. You know what I mean? So they got the serpent talk going over here. There's some more serpent talk. Even as this serpent devoured the sparrow's little ones and the mothers with them. The eighth and the mother that bare them was the ninth. So shall we war, therefore, for so many years. So again, you know what I mean? We see influence of these early Homer writings, Greek literature, found in the New Testaments. Interesting. So we're gonna keep that up. That's another dagger we got right there. You know what I mean? And that was based off what? The Great Serpent. That's interesting. But nonetheless, coming back to what the real Great Serpent is, the solar system, in comparison to some lizard walking around spewing in woman's air, what Jehovah say? The sun I made as the head of a serpent, and his phalanx I made as the body of a serpent. Thus I made the great corporeal serpent. See that? This is a cosmological science. To make the sun, I created a great vortex. See that? The sun vortex is the greatest vortex of them all. The sun's vortex is the sustainer of all of the vortices within it. Any disturbances come to the sun, it'll come to the vortex first. Any disturbance on a celestial body, cosmically, is going to be in the vortex. It's going to be in the unseen. The unseen affects that which is seen. The vortex affects the corporeal earth, the corporeal sun, the moon. Keep in mind, the vortex is moving at a miles per hour. That's the reason we got 24 hours, 12 hours a night, 12 hours a day, because the vortex is moving at a certain momentum to keep us stable within those miles per hour, right? But if the vortex slows down or speeds up, science changes. The science of time changes. If the vortex was to speed up or slow down, it'll be no longer 24 hours because the miles per hour of the vortex has changed. Let's say it's scooted up to 27 hours. Instead of 24 hours in a day, it's 27 hours in a day. Instead of 24 hours in a day, it's 18 hours in a day. Imagine that. And all that can be proven through the vortex. Can be proven through the vortex. Depending on the rotational speed of the vortex, that determines the hour of light and darkness. Time is determined by motion. Depending on how fast the motion is going determines the time. So again, the vortex is one of the most important things, if not the most important thing when it comes to creation. To make the sun, I created a great vortex, and within this vortex and subject to it, I made the vortices of many of the corporeal worlds, the physical worlds. The sun vortex I caused to rotate. See that? Everything is in motion. The sun's vortex I cause to what? Rotate. Depending on the force of rotation, determines the power and speed. Determines the time of day and night. And I gave it power to carry other vortices within it, meaning planets like Earth. Earth is a subcorporeal body under the sun, vortex. According to their density and position, they are thus carried forth. So there is an example of our solar system: the sun in the center and the planets surrounding it. But it's not a flat plane, it's in motion. The sun is in motion, so it's dragging along. Now, it's not looking exactly like this model, but this is a similar example. It's more like a tornado. It looks more like a tornado, but the sun being at the base of the tornado and the planets forming, creating the peripheral of that vortex. Right? Synopsis of 16 cycles, chapter 1, verse 1. First, the earth travels in a circuit around the sun, which is divided into 4 arcs called spring, summer, fall, and winter. We're familiar with that. Here's an example of that. But then, second, the sun, the solar system, with this family travels in a large circuit, which is divided into 1,500 arcs, the distance for each arc being 3,000 years or 1 arc cycle. So the same way we got 4 seasons, the sun got seasons and arcs that it goes through around the Milky Way galaxy or the galactic center. Precept. In the case of what? Double stars, triple stars, and so on. If conjoined, the center of the shared vortex, the so-called center of gravitation, is not to each one, but to the intervening center between them. See that? Each vortex is its own center. The polarity of such a group is as to the vortex. Do not think, however, that double stars, triple stars, or quadruple stars are limited are the limit of combinations in one vortex. Look at this. Look what this say. There are clusters of planets, hundreds of them, thousands, and even millions that sometimes occupy one vortex. Look at that. This shit just said, it said there's a cluster of planets, galaxies, even millions that occupy one vortex. Look at the scale and magnitude of creation that we're dealing with. That's one vortex. Now let's come back to this picture right here. Look, one vortex. It just said that one vortex is capable of holding millions of celestial bodies, celestials, planets, right? Stars, suns, moon, whatever. But it said all that could be occupied in one vortex. So look at all these vortices. So imagine millions of vortices all within one of these. And there's innumerous in creation. Innumerous. There you have it. Just imagine each one of these stars is clustered, got millions within occupying one vortex. And look how many vortices you see floating. Endless. So with that being said, there is no beginning and ending to creation. You can't put a pinpoint on when this shit started. And keep in mind, the purpose of a vortex, the purpose of a solar system is to produce life. Humans become ancestors, become gods that transverse the cosmos. So the purpose of vortices is to produce gods and goddesses, procreators. So within one vortice, you got millions of vortices that has the potential to produce millions, billions of potential gods and goddesses occupying just one of those vortices. So just imagine the fullness of creation. Just imagine the innumerable ancestors in creation that you can't even put a number how old they are. Yo, come on, man. OWASP on a whole nother level, yo. Look what it say. There are clusters of planets, hundreds of them, thousands, and even millions that sometimes occupy what? One of these vortices you see floating right here. And you can't put an end to how many vortices you see floating right here. That's wild. Give me a one in the chat if y'all get that, yo. Give me a one in the chat if y'all get that understanding. Let's take a pause for a minute on that. You got to pause on that one. We're dealing with a great magnitude of science. Got to take a smoke break on that one. Yes, family. Yes, I. Well, you say Daryl the dragon is a serpent too. That's right. It's a blood clot vibes. Yahweh the proverbial beast. Yeah. You know what I mean? You got the light going. It's easy work right here, man. So just from reading the little bit of science coming from the ayahuasca, you see that ain't no way in hell Gab laying on his back can match up to this. Nor can they explain this using comedic science. You dig? They ain't got nothing for it. The positive and negative force of creator. What Judge I say? Book of Jehovah 1, chapter 1, verse 1. The all spoke, and motion was, is, and ever shall be. Being positive was called he and him. The all motion was his speech. Here's an example. All was equal past. All is equal present. All ever shall be equal future. The all spoke, and motion was past. Motion is past, motion is present, and motion is future. Being positive was called he and him. The all motion was his speech. Now, he and him being positive. Now, when we come to the vortex, it says being positive was called he and him, right? Book of Cosmogony and Prophecy, chapter 1:9, precept. The name of the force of the vortex is called vortexia. That is what? Positive force. So in the book of Jehovah, chapter 1, verse 1, when it states being positive was called he and him, it's talking about the positive force of vortexia. Because it arbitrary, it exerts east to west. It exerts, so the force and power of the positive force is east to west, right? While the feminine force, the negative force, is from north to south. So from east to west, north, that's how the two forces are ingrided, right? What does it say? Book of Cosmogony and Prophecy 1:10. For which reason the north and south lines of the earth vortex is called vortexia, or what? Negative force. For it is the subject of the other. So they're both subjugated, they're both ingrided. These two forces, the positive force and the negative force, is that which produce life. This is your vortex, this is your matrix, this is your womb. And within the form of the womb, you have the both masculine and feminine forces, the both positive and negative forces within the vortex. The positive force of the vortex exerts east and west. the negative force of the vortex exerts north and south. So basically, that which is driven to the center of the vortex is the feminine energy, and that which is drawn in is the positive energy. So there you have it. From the top view, you have the flow of east and west being drawn to the center, and then you have the side view showing the north to the south. Just like he says, the whirlwind I made as the sign of the manner of my created world. So here's the example of the force and power of the whirlwind. In return, the positive and negative force and power of vortexia. In return, the force and power of creator. This is the function of creator. And keep in mind, this is an invisible force. What you seeing right here is an invisible force. When you see a hurricane, the clouds of a hurricane, the clouds of a tornado, that's just the tangible side of that invisible force. Book of Cosmogony and Prophecy, chapter 1:9. The name of the force of the vortex is called vortexia. That is what? Positive force. See that? Positive force. Because it arbitraries and it exerts east and west at right angles to the axis. As in the case of a wheel turning on its axis, its force will be at right angles with this axis at the extreme center of which will be no power. Here's an example, wheel turning on its axis. So we're not just talking mumbo jumbo. This is a science. For which reason the north and south lines of the Earth vortex is called the M vortex, or negative force, for it is the subject of the other. As a whirlwind gathers up straw and dust, which travel towards the center of the whirlwind and its poles, so do corporeal substance incline to approach the poles of the Earth vortex, which may be proven by posing a magnetized needle. Posing a magnetized needle. See that? Vortices look like needles. See that? I blew my breath outward. Now look. Owaspi Book of Jehovah, chapter 1, verse 8. Jehovah said, I blew my breath outward, and behold, all things are created. Here's the blowing of the breath. Let's make that make sense. If Jehovah said he blew his breath outward, and behold, all things are created. First, how all things are created? Through vortex. So the blowing of the breath is the motion that produces vortices. What does it say right here? Jehovah said, I blew my breath outward, and behold, all things are created. Here's the blowing. This is where he's blowing right here. This is where the motion starts. The blowing outward, the expression. Boom. Same thing down here. See the arrow? See where the motion is starting? I blew my breath outward, and behold, all things are created. Now keep in mind, the creator is ever present. So this just activates in motion. You become beholden of it the same way you become beholden of a hurricane forming. Ain't no man sitting around blowing his breath doing that. You behold in real time. You could behold the forming of a hurricane, the forming of a tornado. That's creator, and that's function of creator. You thought that's just the act of nature. That's creator doing that. That's the nature is the body of the creator. The physical body of the creator is what you see in creation, right? I have spoken, my breath is a floating world. Look at that. Book of Eighth, Son of Jehovah, chapter 2, verse 13. I have spoken, and my breath is a floating world. Stop playing, man. Look what it states. My speech is written in the lines where countless millions of suns and stars travel. Look at this. What did y'all just say? Jehovah said, I blow my breath outward, and behold, all things are created. Here's a galaxy, here's our solar system. As above, so below as above. And you got the process of creating. See, we got all this science, man. Seasons and cycles equal prophecy. 4 ages of all celestial bodies. The time of creation, the time of inhabitation, the time of barrenness, the time of dissipation. In the Owaspia states each one of these ages are 144,000 years apiece, and it all fluctuates and starts all over again. Guess what age we in? We in the time of inhabitation, because we're at an age where the earth is sustainable to support animals and man. Or humans, I should say. So we in the second age. See that? And after the second age is the time of barrenness, where nothing can generate or grow, like fall, when everything dies. And then dissipation. And the dissipation starts again over in the first. And this is the cycle of the 4 ages. Just like the 4 seasons. You got spring, summer, fall, winter, and the cycles repeat itself. It's the same thing with this. The time of creation is the springtime. The time of inhabitation is the summertime. The time of barrenness is the fall time. The time of dissipation is the winter time. And then what happens after that? Does everything stop? No. It starts and recycles itself. And we have an example of this in nature, in real time. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm gonna drop some light for a minute. I see you, Bronze. Yeah, we gotta see what's up with sis, man. Hope she alright. Yeah, fam. We just wanted to come drop some knowledge for a minute, man. Talk to the fam. Chop it up with the gods and goddesses. You know what I mean? But I got some things to do, family. I'm gonna go ahead and sign out. Your boy Selah Shalom. Until next time, we up out of here, family. Peace, love, and light. Because it's a blood clot vibe.